Hey everyone, I hope you're all well. If you didn't know, Apex Legends is filled to the brim with pop culture references through voice lines, quotes, in-game text, and animations. There's so much that has been inspired by other things, and if you have a keen eye, you'll definitely have spotted some, but do you know about all of them? Well, chances are you don't, chances are I don't, but here are some that I've picked out and others have picked out in the Apex Legends community that I'll be talking about today. We have a bunch of different things from animations to skins and messages in game, so let's take a look and see how many you might recognize. So let's get into it. First up, we have the Entangler, which is of course a reference to
entanglement.
Nah, I'm just kidding. That's just a coincidence, but the following ones are going to be pop culture references without a doubt. And before we get into it, I just want to thank today's sponsor, Honey. So if you haven't heard about Honey, it's a free browser extension that can essentially save you tons of money when you shop online. It's really simple to use. So you probably know most sites have coupon codes. Now, most of the time you go to the checkout and you don't really know what to put there. These coupon codes are public and available to use. You just need to know what they are. And what Honey does is it finds the coupon codes on the internet and applies the best one so that you can save money on pretty much anything you buy online. Honey works with over 30,000 stores online, from tech and gaming sites to different fashion brands and even food delivery. I know I've used it on Domino's before. All you have to do is install the extension to your browser and simply apply coupons when you get to the coupon or checkout page, and Honey can usually find a pretty good deal to save you money. Since its launch, Honey has actually saved $2 billion for over 17 million members, so it's definitely helped a lot of people save some fair bit of cash. If you want to get Honey, all you need to do is install it very quickly with 2 clicks by simply going to joinhoney.com/gaming merchant. It's free to use and just takes a few seconds to install. Not only will you be saving yourself some money, but you'll be supporting my channel as well by clicking the link and downloading it. So go give it a go. Thanks again, Honey, for sponsoring today's video. So first we have this very rare Revenant totem animation, which very much mimics the same thing that the Enchantress did in the Suicide Squad movie. Now I have a feeling that people who were working on Revenant may have been inspired by the DC comics, because the skin Bird of Prey may also be a reference to the movie Birds of Prey. Now we don't know for sure, but it's clear that there was some DC inspiration here, so it would be very fitting if both an animation and a name of a skin were inspired by DC Comics. I'd actually go as far as to say that Revenant himself is inspired by Enchantress in DC. If you think about it, the Enchantress can kind of swap into this weird shadowy form, and it's very similar to Revenant's kit. Now, I don't know what happened during development, but I feel like someone who loves DC had a lot of say about how Revenant would turn out. The whole shadow totem doesn't really make sense in our lore as we know it, and the devs did say that they'd explain in the future, and it may be tied to a future Legend's abilities, but right now the shadowy kind of thing going on is very sort of outside of the lore and how things work in the Apex games right now. It's just such a strange thing that somehow is so fitting and similar to the Enchantress. So I wonder if we'll get any other superhero themed abilities or I guess overall character designs in the future. Very exciting to see. I'd love to know the story behind this. Maybe we'll learn one day. Next, let's talk about one of Wraith's most famous finishes, Existential Crisis. Now, it was confirmed that the animator that made this actually had been inspired by Dragon Ball Z, and it was sort of a dream of theirs to put an animation from their favorite show into a game one day, and it's now in the game, and it's definitely one of the most cinematic finishes in the game, so it's no surprise it has such a great origin story. Next, we have the new Pathfinder jump animation, which was added in Season 5. Now, this was inspired by The Wizard of Oz. It was confirmed by the animators that this is the case. Here they are side by side. You can definitely see the similarities here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see so many more inspired animations and in-game finishes and things like that. Next we have the Gibraltron skin, which came with the roll-out frame animation. Now it's no surprise this is heavily inspired by Transformers. Jibby literally looks like a Transformer himself, and Gibraltron sounds very much similar to Megatron. Interestingly, it's the leader of the Autobots that says roll out, not Megatron, who is the leader of the Decepticons, but still, I can definitely see this being a clear pop culture reference to Transformers. Next we have the Mirage Striker pose finisher. Now this wasn't added into the game to begin with, it kind of just was suddenly added one day, and we don't really know what the story was behind that, but it's clear the inspiration once again comes from another DC character, the Joker. This one actually came from a very old movie, and I'll play them side by side so that you can see. So it's clear somebody who's working at Respawn is a very big fan of DC, with 2 pop culture references in this video being DC related. Next, let's talk about Wraith's running animation. It's no surprise this was inspired by Naruto. I mean, anybody that has seen this will probably know the reference, and I don't think we need confirmation from any of the animators. It's clearly inspired. Next, we have a couple of things for Caustic. Now, Caustic's general movement when he's walking is inspired by Jason from the Friday the 13th movies. Now, it may not be noticeable at first, it's very subtle, but he has that kind of walk about him, which is very similar to Jason. Now, if you actually go into the game files and extract Caustic's animations, they are called Caustic Jason Walk or something along those lines. I put up on screen now. This was definitely inspired by the way Jason Voorhees walks when he's kind of walking towards his victims. Next, we have another one for Caustic. It's the Gasbuster skin. This is heavily inspired by the original Ghostbusters movie and the outfits that they used, and it's really cool. It's one of my favorite Caustic skins. It's really clean and the inspiration is as clear as day. Next we have this Brother Bear skin. Now this outfit has these little logos that say manga or manga. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, and I wonder if this was some kind of brand, but it actually means mountain in Maori, which is pretty much Gibraltar's origins, or at least part of his origins. So yeah, that's kind of a nice little touch there. Not really a pop culture reference per se, but a nice reference to Gibraltar's heritage. Finally, we'll end with this one. I didn't know what this meant. Nobody really did, so I went on a translation subreddit and asked them. Apparently, it's a very old, famous Chinese poem, and it's really hard to translate from Chinese to English. It doesn't really make sense, but apparently, if you understand ancient Chinese literature, which I guess is something that Chinese students may learn at school, you're probably going to recognize this poem. So if anybody recognizes this poem, can they provide a translation? Is it easy to do? I'm not sure, but there we go. That is our list of the most recent pop culture references that I've noticed in game. Do you have any that you'd include in this list? Let me know, leave a comment below, and I'll see you there. Cheerio! Did you know I stream almost every day from 7 PM UK time or 11 AM Pacific Standard Time? You can catch me live right here on YouTube, so make sure you have notifications turned on. I also have a new members program. Become a member for $2.99 a month, get your comments highlighted in videos, get a cool badge in live stream chat, get access to these cute emotes, and also gain access to my members tips videos, where you can ask me for any tips, and I'll be making new videos weekly to help you improve your own game. Click the join button or click the link in the video description to get involved.